What are the 5 most iconic men's sunglass styles of all time? Let's talk about it. So when we're talking about the most iconic men's sunglass styles, I think we kind of have to go back into history and recognize kind of where the styles evolved from. Now, if you think back to the days of Benjamin Franklin or Theodore Roosevelt, the most common style of glasses was just a simple round lens, which kind of makes sense. I mean, if you're putting together some type of optics you're going to wear on your face, you can't really go wrong with just the standard round frame and round lens. Now, this style might just simply be referred to as round style frames, but it's also sometimes referred to as the Windsor style, named after the Duke of Windsor, who eventually became, I believe, King Edward VIII of the United Kingdom. Now, the problem with simple round lenses, they might be classic, they might have made sense for their day, but I don't think that it's as flattering on a wider range of people. So by the 1930s, a lot of people probably recognized that round frames don't look good on everybody. And so in Italy and France, some argue even in Germany, they started designing what they call the Panto or pantoscopic lens design. Now, the advantage of the Panto lens shape is that it's going to have a wider field of view. It's also going to be more flattering on more people. Panto lenses generally are slightly wider than they are tall, which gives a nice full field of view. And oftentimes, Panto frames actually have a slight downward angle, which kind of allows for a simpler, more natural gaze through the lenses themselves. Now, while there's some debate over who actually designed this, there isn't really a single patented designer. Famously in America, Bausch & Lomb kind of brought it to the American consumer, but this Panto style became very popular in the 30s. It's flattering on most face shapes, it's lightweight, it's versatile, it's professional yet kind of relaxed, and there's several people throughout history that have worn this style. Cary Grant, Gregory Peck, James Dean, Michael Caine, even Andy Warhol famously wore these Panto-style sunglasses. Now, by 1936, the company Bausch & Lomb created the Ray-Ban Aviators. They initially weren't called Aviators. They were something like anti-glare, I think was the first kind of name that they coined for it. But the idea is that they banned harmful rays of the sun. They went on to be called Ray-Bans. And so the Aviator from 1936 is kind of that first design that we now know from Ray-Ban. And so these Ray-Ban aviator-style glasses became really popular among pilots and then also was quickly adopted into popular culture. The idea behind them is they give full coverage. They usually have metal frames, and they actually look good on a lot of different face shapes. While they were initially built for performance, they kind of became a lifestyle piece over time. Some famous people that wore these throughout history would be General Douglas MacArthur, Tom Cruise in Top Gun, Robert De Niro from Taxi Driver. Very recently, even American President Joe Biden would famously wear his Ray-Bans with a suit. Other celebrities have adopted the Ray-Ban aviators over the years. Aviators are both practical, yet they're also masculine, and since they look good on so many people, they're just a widely adopted, iconic sunglass. Then by 1947, the company Shure Limited came up with what was referred to as the Browline. This one usually has an acetate prominent brow with a wired lower portion of the actual frames. This was invented by Jack Rohrbach, who was the vice president of Shure Unlimited in 1947. It was initially called the Ronzer, but it really kind of dominated American eyewear through the 1950s. Now, in the 1980s, Ray-Ban kind of relaunched the design with what they call their Clubmaster. That's what these are. And it kind of just is a strong architectural silhouette that is kind of half bold on the top, yet half refined. It fits a lot of face shapes, and the older versions could even be customized to kind of fit the wearer and their prescription lenses. Now, the Browlines or the Clubmasters have been worn by people like Malcolm X, Bruce Willis in Moonlighting, Michael Douglas. There's a recent popular TV show called Mad Men, which kind of depicted ad agency representatives from that 1950s era, and a lot of the men in that show can be seen wearing this style of glasses. Now, obviously, a lot of men wore this style with just clear prescription lenses, but it's not a big stretch to put in some sunglass lenses inside of this style. The cool thing about Clubmasters is that they're a little bit more formal, but also expressive. They look good in suits. They can be dressed up and dressed down, and it also kind of gives you a little bit of a retro type of vibe. Now, the third most iconic design I want to talk about is from 1952, and that is the Ray-Ban Wayfarer. So the Wayfarer originally was designed in about 1952 by Raymond Stegman for Ray-Ban. It kind of shifts from wire frames to a completely plastic frame. Most of the ones today are made of acetate. Now, it's a thick, angular frame. It has a little bit more of a trapezoidal-shaped lens and a strong forward tilt on the lenses. They have the quintessential silver rivets on the side, and these glasses were really made popular by people like James Dean, Bob Dylan, Tom Cruise in Risky Business, famously worn by the Blues Brothers as well. Now, Wayfarers fit a lot of face shapes also. They're casual, a little bit more edgy and youthful, and they pair really well with jeans, t-shirts, leather jackets, or really any look that is a little bit more rebellious and says that you don't really care. Now, among the four glasses that we've discussed, I think that the Wayfarer is the most casual of the collection. But it's so iconic that I still think that it deserves a spot in any modern collection. Now, the fifth most iconic sunglass style I want to talk about are the Persol 714s. Now, technically, these ones are 649s because they don't actually have the hinge system that Persols are known for, but the overall shape and aesthetic is very similar to the Persol 714s. Now, Persol came out with these in the 1960s and were really made popular by Steve McQueen, and one of the cool things about them is the hinge system that they developed for them, which allowed the sunglasses to be completely folded up into a really small form factor, which can be easily transported. Now, it's a acetate frame. They have a signature arrow logo on the side, which is indicative of Persol. The crystal lenses give a handmade feel and kind of this unmistakable Italian silhouette. These sunglasses, like I said, were made famous by Steve McQueen and the Thomas Crown Affair, Daniel Craig, Ryan Gosling, several other male celebrities have been seen wearing these over the decades. But among acetate frames, I think that the Persol kind of gets the nod for having the most elegant style overall. I think they're a little bit more formal than something like a Wayfarer, but they're just as practical. Persols can be dressed up a little bit more. I think they look great with like a linen suit, button-down shirt, simple t-shirt and jeans. It doesn't look out of place in any of those situations. I purchased mine actually in Italy. I was visiting the Amalfi Coast at the time, and they really did an awesome job on the trip, just being able to walk the beach and go to shops, go out to dinner. I thought that it really blended into all those settings really well. I do want to leave you with one bonus. Now, I wouldn't call this one an iconic classic quite yet, but this is actually a style of sunglasses that I've been really impressed with over the last few years, and that's from a company named Ombres. Now, I bought these with my own money. This is not a sponsored video or anything. I've just been super impressed with this style of glasses. So it's not actually the frame shape that really gets me. It's the cord system that keeps the glasses attached to my face. Now, what's unique about the Ombre style is whatever the frame and lens combination you pick, the side is just a firm, like a string or a rope, but it stays attached to your face really well. So if I'm doing water sports or I'm paddleboarding or rock climbing or doing some type of sport where I worry that my glasses might fall off, or I worry about breaking the arm of my sunglasses, I don't have to worry about that with these Ombres. So sometimes if I'm traveling and I want some sunglasses that are going to fold super flat, that I'm not worried at all about the arms breaking, I want them to be compact, lightweight, and stay on my face, you might want to consider for traveling or outdoor sports getting yourself a pair of Ombres glasses. Now, if you're building a collection from scratch, I recommend maybe getting something that has a metal frame, and then getting an acetate or plastic-based sunglass. That way you would have one pair of glasses for maybe more informal and casual settings, and then you might have something with more wired frames that can be dressed up a little bit more for those more formal events. As always with sunglasses, it's important that you get sunglasses that actually fit your face dimensions and your face shape, meaning that your temples are going to be a certain measurement. So you don't want to get frames that are either too small for your face, too small for your temples, or ones that stick out past your cheekbones too much. And most of these iconic styles, you can get different frame sizes that are going to fit your face. And then second, it's important to get a frame shape that's going to complement your face shape, right? So if you have a very round face, getting very rounded lenses are not going to flatter your face. You want to get something that's going to contrast and complement that face shape. Now, fortunately, these 5 iconic styles fit the majority of face shape, which is, I think, one of the main reasons why they become iconic and they become popular and classic over many decades, is because they look good on a lot of people. But you still need to understand the width of your temples and then get the frames that fit your size head. So there you have it, guys. The 5 most iconic men's sunglasses of all time, in my opinion. And those include the Panto, the Aviator, the Clubmaster, the Wayfarer, and the Persols, with a bonus of getting yourself a pair of Ombras with some strings for sunglass arms for maybe traveling or rough sports. And then I think you have built yourself a really well-rounded sunglass collection. So there you have it, guys, the 5 most iconic men's sunglass styles of all time. If you made it this far into the video and you got some value out of it, go ahead and hit that like button for me. If you want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button. It lets me know that you're interested in this type of content. And remember, guys, it doesn't matter if you wear dollar store sunglasses or you go with the original design, as long as you wear your sunglasses.